Hi, I'm Buddy. And I'm Dude. And I'm Rodney. Excuse me. And I'm Rodney, the creator, artist, and writer. And welcome to the world of Pitter Patter.
Scribbling the adventures of these two sometimes lovable cats, I'm very excited to not only be offering issue 1, but issue 2 as well. That's right, the first 2 issues of Pitter Patter are available through our Kickstarter for your enjoyment. The books center around our 2 harebrained cats, Buddy and Dude, cats from different sides of the tracks, and how they traverse the choppy waters that are their lives around the house, yard, and other dark and dangerous places beyond the door. But wait, that's not all. If you act now, you can get your grubby little paws on all of the shiny pretty things we have to offer. The goods are aplenty: pins, variant covers, stickers, trading cards, and more. Simply scroll down below and check out all the rewards, add-ons, and stretch goals. If you have a cat, love a cat, know a cat, or even hate cats, these books are going to be right up your alley. So come on, follow along and enjoy the ride. And thank you all for checking out the world of Pitter Patter and for supporting our Kickstarter. For Buddy and Dude, this is Rodney Fike saying, so long, everybody.
Yeah. If I die tomorrow, I hope you hear these words. I ain't here to flip no birds or sip no serve. Hope the future generations can get this urge. Stay woke, youngin', and avenge these nerds.
What up, everybody? It is Tuesday night. You know what that time is.
That's right. Let's do this.
Yes.
First of all, cut everything. Happy birthday, Tung!
Hey!
Let's go.
Hey, here's to 32. I'm younger than you fucks.
Wow, you are literally a year and a half younger than me, sir. You relax. Pump the brakes. Little big brother.
Well, there you go. There's an announcement right there. Happy birthday, Tung. There you go.
Little
See, brother. Matt with the hat, which we're going to give a shout out in a second because we got something that we want to share with our guests too when they come out. So don't bring it out yet, but we're going to give a shout out for Matt for finding the spot. So first things up, let's get through these announcements real quick because I like to get through all the announcements real quick so we can bring everyone out and have fun. So yes, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Twitch. Listen to us, follow us. We're on Spotify. We're on podcasts. We're everywhere. Just follow, subscribe, love us, like us. All those who already do that, we thank you from the bottom of our heart because, again, all your support out there means everything to us. We thank you guys. Again, we want to continue to bring you guys some fun content. So, again, all those where you see us, subscribe, follow, share to friends, share with the grandma, share with the grandpa, share with everybody. Tell them Nerds is here. First things first, podcast announcements. I got to do an awesome guest spot on Sunday on Comics Cast where I got to hang out with Jerel and Joe Tolliver. We talked some great stuff, some art and everything. It was a great show. You guys can go to the channel. The link is in the description. So after this, you can go there. We went on for about 3 hours with just talking and got to draw and everything. And big shout out to those guys because that was just awesome. And again, thank you guys and all that. IndionCon is coming back. Virtual show, August 28th and 29th. Free for all artists and people and general admissions for everyone to attend virtually. There are also VIP packages and expanded vendor packages, which you can also get a 10% discount when you use code Get Nerdy with it. So yes, there are still spots that are available, so check them out. Make sure you guys check it out. Also, Geek South Staten Island is happening September 4th. We will be there in person doing a panel on September 4th at Geek South Staten Island. September 5th is their virtual con. The link is right there, ghostlightcon.com. Make sure you check it out if you're in the area. If you can't make it September 4th, check out their virtual show September 5th. Incredicon comes back October 23rd and 24th. So if you're not going to New York City Comic Con, can't get tickets to New York City Comic Con, don't want to deal with the scalpers, check out Incredichat's show. There's the link right there, IncrediconHV.com. They will be at the Poughkeepsie Galleria Mall. And also to tell Mike Lopez we sent you over to go check out Incredichat. He's also got some great interviews that he's been doing there. So make sure you also check him out. Check out all the creator series that we have launched. We have a new one that's coming out with featuring Aniba Rio. The last one we dropped one with Jason Lennox and everybody. So we had some great creator series. So again, that's what comes from you guys following the channel where we're dropping all these interviews. So that's it. That's all for the announcements today. Did I get it right?
I think you did.
Yeah, I know. I suck at making bets.
To my benefit. To my benefit. I'll take it.
What's up, Cheyenne?
What's up, Cheyenne?
Gave Ghost Eye shot. So
you're muted.
I just realized. Hi, Cheyenne. And yes, Seabass makes terrible bets. And also, you did a very good job on the announcements today. So proud of you.
Yay, I did a good job. So anyway, first up, we promised her to return because she started the season with us talking about Loki. And she wanted to come back because she wanted to come back and talk about the last episode because we kind of knew that there were going to be some crazy stuff that was going to happen in that season finale. You can catch her on the Bitten Apple. You can see her creating content all around the web. All of her links are there because we got to share everything that she does because she is the phenomenal, the one, the only Frye. Leslie.
Hey, welcome back.
Thank you for having me back.
Of course.
Excited.
Yes.
So we have a first on the show too. We got to see him at ImbionCon last year. He did and you could still see that panel archived at ImbionCon's website. We got together with a bunch of business owners and they were talking about how to start your own business. He's built an empire with his wife. Makes a hell of a macaroon. Macaroons are awesome. So if you check out those links. And he also has the Meow Parlor. Him and his wife have the Meow Parlor, which you guys have to check out if you love cats. Trust me, it is definitely there for you guys to check out. All the links are in the description. You want to give him a follow. You want to give him a shout. I want to give it up for the one, the only Simon T. Simon.
Woo! What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show.
Exciting.
Thank you for coming on again. Again, I want to thank you guys for coming on. Thank you guys for everything that you guys do and all that. And yes, like I said, the macaroons are good. So guys, go to macaroonparlor.com. Yes. The website is there in the description. Put your order in. Let them ship it to you. And watch, you are going to enjoy it. That's a bet I definitely know I'm going to win. Finally.
Bets that are out of your control.
Yeah, listen. I made that bet on purpose because I want an excuse to go to this place, which we're going to fill in everybody in a second, because that's part of this episode, and I wanted our guests to join this in, because, it is at my, expense, but it's fine. It's good because today is... What's the birthday? What's the magic word? We're going to do that throughout the show.
God.
So finally...
what I would do to be 32 again, man.
I should have made it a drinking game.
Oh, my God, I know, right? Every time he pulls this up.
So finally, we have one more guest in the background. Like I said, I just gave him and Joe a shout out because they did a phenomenal interview. They always do some phenomenal interviews. We try to help support the indie creative community. They're another group that tries to help support the indie creative community. They're always interviewing great guests, and he gets to draw with these amazing guests. And I was honored to get to work with him on Mr. Stupendous. He designed the villain and everything. And it was just an honor getting to see his take on some of the characters I got to draw. He got to draw Kyver. He did Kyver really dope. Nice. I'm going to say that right now. He did Kyver really dope. I want to give it up for the one, the only, the master of none, the guy who just knocks the ball off the park. Give it up for the one, the only, Jerel Motos.
Welcome back. Down the finale. Yes,
That's it, man. Every time we can always hope that Jerel will be here on the finale.
Oh yeah.
At the end of this show, he's gonna call "What If" finale, and that shit don't start until the 11th. So
he's already in there. He's already in there.
Val.
Hey, Val.
So right now, so before we get into the episode, because I wanted our guests to join in on this. So on the first episode, Leslie was there in the first episode, which is this is full circle now. We made the bet that if it was Mephisto, Tony would buy me a sandwich from Tony Baloney's. And if you don't know what Tony Baloney's is, it is a hell of a sandwich shop because I just finished my sandwich and I am in sandwich coma. If Mephisto was not there, I had to buy Tony the sandwich. Tony, I am going to bring you up. Show off that beautiful
that bludgeoning weapon.
So
that's what you were swinging around.
Yeah. So to give some perspective, I had to get two sandwiches, one for myself that Seabass purchased, and one for my wife that she had. We split it in half. So we got this ginormous lobster sandwich, which we killed. So there's no image of that, but there is there is this other sandwich. It is the Bologna Rex. It is a short rib sandwich, as you can see, with the fucking bone just sticking out. And then, and then to add to it, the whole gimmick is that you pull the bone out.
Oh,
and look how clean that is.
Oh my god!
Look at that. That's madness. Now I'm not gonna. Jesus, this is a bludgeoning weapon. This is like 1d4 damage. Anyway, so I'm gonna eat this a little bit while we do our show. I won't pig out, obviously, because I've got things to say about this finale. But yeah, let's get to it. I got you. I'll show the sandwich. All right.
Yep, I do. So I want to get everyone, like, we're going to be seeing Tony eat this sandwich, and today's Tony's birthday, so if you want to give him a shout out, yes. So all the comments that everyone has.
You should have never given me access to the back seat of StreamYard.
That was you?
Of course it was.
and so salute to you.
Why is he putting that hashtag behind
Cheers.
It makes total sense now.
Jesus Christ.
Cheers.
But,
oh man.
But Simon, this is your first time on the show, so I want to get your thoughts on this season of Loki going all the way up until this last episode. How did you feel about this?
It was so nice to just the character development of Loki in general.
Wow, wait.
You know, just from my goodness.
Lord.
Wait, we'll get back. Wait. Tony wants to show.
What in the world?
What is that, cheese?
Yeah, it's cheese and short rib.
Oh my god.
All right, let's do this. Come on.
All right, go ahead,
the full
Simon.
sandwich is the size of his forearm. I'm not even exaggerating.
This whole episode is going to be the sandwich.
We'll just get a sandwich. We'll just get them to sponsor the whole thing.
That's it.
Yes.
I'm going to cut the clip.
Simon, big brain over here. Let's go.
Anyway,
yeah,
so,
I just love the whole character, like them adding so many more layers to what he really deserves in terms of a character. Because I feel like in all the MCU movies, it was, okay, he plays a fun bad guy, and like a little playful here and there. But this not with the 6 episodes, like you really get to know him as he becomes way more human. Which I really, really like, so that's what I got out of it. I was just like, oh, finally, they didn't just skim over him and he's not like a background character. It just felt really nice to get to know him. And it's a great actor playing him too. So
yes, really nice. I love Tom playing him, and he's perfect role. I'm glad they passed him up for Dora. Leslie, we were talking about this in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I did.
Yes, let's go. I want to get your thoughts from what you thought from the beginning of the season to. And yep, Tony's in another dimension.
I don't even think he's listening anymore.
No, I'm here.
He's zoned in.
No. I'm eating off camera. I'm not that.
Halfway through, we're just like, Tony, you there? The food coma's gonna be real.
I love that this happened on the final Tone's birthday, the season finale. Tony Baloney is just the perfect episode. But yeah, Les, because we were talking a lot that first, what we were kind of like hoping and expecting. Right. We didn't know what's going on, but tell me, like, from that first episode to now, what are your overall feelings about Loki now?
I really thought you had to. What I loved about this the most was the innuendo. There was a lot of innuendo in this show, and the acting was really superb. I mean, given the cast who they brought on to do this show, it doesn't surprise me that they were able to to really conquer this. This was more in depth and much more, in my opinion, it took you on an emotional journey. And I'm thinking specifically about the end and the part where Loki was betrayed by the other Loki. And, Tom Hiddleston's amazing expression, and I'm giving this from the actor's standpoint, his amazing plea.
Today.
I didn't know we were doing it. Let's do it.
I said something about it. Should we do it first before we?
No. Go ahead, Tom, real quick.
All right. So while I'm eating the sandwich, we are discussing the Loki finale, season 1, episode 6, for all time always. Jonathan fucking Major showed up, and I was laughing my ass off when I saw him in that elevator. But it wasn't as Kang. No, it was as Immortus. We all thought it was going to be Morgan Freeman, but we got Jonathan fucking Majors here as the one above all / Immortus, and I can't. I lost my shit. I paused it. I started laughing. My wife looked at me like, "Why are you laughing?" And I'm like, "Cause I said he wasn't gonna be here, and he ended up being here." Anyway, Tony Stark has died. Let's get to it. Let's get to the madness that is now the official multiverse, and not that hobcodge bullshit that Mysterio told us in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, and I think I did mention that I thought that it was going to be King that was going to show up and kick everything off, and I was absolutely right about it. And he was amazing. Jonathan Majors was amazing. I cannot wait to see him in Ant-Man. I can't wait to see what this guy does. I have been loving this guy since Lovecraft Country. And but I'm telling you, there was a lot of acting tour de force in this, and you really had to concentrate. It was not a fun ride like the previous shows that we've been watching on Disney that are dealing with the Marvel Universe. This was something a little bit more in depth, a little bit more juicier, and it made it a more rounded character of Loki. You got to see another side of him. And the question now is when this Loki appears in anything else, what kind of Loki is he going to be?
Exactly, and look, Valerie agrees with the show was done so well. It was, and it has to be my most favorite MCU show that we've had in the Disney Plus lineup. Jerel, we're not going to forget about you. Come on, you've been waiting to give your 2 cents. You've been waiting, so come on, give us your thoughts from the beginning to the end. I mean, I know I rushed you to watch that series too. I said you better finish it by Sunday.
Well, first of all, I want to say happy birthday to Tung. I see you're enjoying yourself, living large there, and I think it was very advantageous for you to lose your bet, so that way you could actually say this was my birthday gift to you as well. So I think it was there was strategic losses right there. But I had to tell you, I had to avoid watching you guys' show because I got behind, and I had to like pop in and just sort of say, hey, I love you guys, but I can't watch the show because I haven't watched the rest of Loki yet. So I had to like do a crash course in it, and I have to tell you what hasn't been said by Simon and the bitten apple mistress there. They basically have told everything that I would like to say about it as well. I mean, I was worried because I didn't know what they were going to do with Hiddleston's with Loki, because he died, right? And so it's like we'd gotten to that point where we loved like where his character's his story arc had gone. And I was wondering, this is another Loki, so how do you get that Loki back to where the Loki that we loved? So I think it was done masterfully. They did a great way of just redeeming him and catching him up. And even though he's a different Loki, we're learning to love him just like we love the other Loki. And I have to tell you that also that first episode just rocked me. I was like, what? They're talking about like only one stream, one universe. I was like, you're basically throwing out 10 years of the MC.
That's that bad internet.
Jarrell's coming in with that hypocrisy, talking about the MCU and how the last 10 years of bullshit.
Kevin Feige heard you.
Yeah, Disney's coming in. Got him. Yeah, my internet.
And there goes your buddy Joe. See, you see, even Joe's picking on you now too. Look at that.
Yeah. Okay, where did I break out?
You talking about like you felt that the last 10 years felt like they were a race. That's what you were talking about.
Yeah, and so I was like watching the show. I was like, where are they going with this? Because especially they already announced the multiverse of madness, and I was like, how can there only be one? And basically it was like, I have to say we knew some of it was a little predictable in terms of like it can't be what I think it is. But it was a fun ride getting to where I thought it should be. And so I think that Loki was awesome. The show was awesome. And I can't wait to see what Feige has in store for us.
Oh, Val has a question. Do y'all think the classic Loki is future Loki of the version we know that Thanos killed? He said he was, and he was in hiding.
Yep.
And I would love to see him come back. Because, you have this multiverse, you have the variants. I would love to see that version of Loki come back and that actor gets to portray that version too. But I got a question for everybody here because I wanted to get our guests' their feelings from the beginning to the end. Everyone knows how me, Law, and Tom feel because we're bragging about it all the time. What was everybody's favorite variant? Let's go. I mean, we'll start with Law and Tony. What were your favorite variants?
I think we said it last time.
We said it last time.
I really like Kid Loki. Like that whole interaction of realizing that he was the one who killed Thor, and he has to just live with that. And it's so good. I can't wait. If they keep him and decide to use him later on as the Kid Loki for, New Avengers and whatever the case is, it's gonna be a good time because he has to deal with that conflict and guilt, and then also work on becoming whatever version of Loki he ends up becoming.
Matt loves
Crocodile Loki should be everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
But that goes without saying. So we know that Crocodile Loki is your favorite. Who's your other favorite? Right.
Or Gator Loki is your 1A, right? Who's your 1B?
Right.
That's what it is. Go
ahead.
For me, it was Sylvie. It was real. I enjoyed Sylvie. I enjoyed the journey that Sylvie took from what we got. She had this whole plan, and she was alone, and she found Hiddleston Loki, and they kind of figured it out. But at the end of the day, she still fulfilled the self-fulfilling prophecy of that a Loki will cause chaos, and that we didn't see her cause chaos until the end of the season. And I think it's just it's all just one big fucking circle that we keep going around. But I really did enjoy her take on things versus all the other Lokis where it's always just been about glorious purpose and fulfilling themselves and what they need. Where I think she was kind of very interesting, and also mashing the characters of Enchantress and Loki and seeing what she'll play in the bigger MCU if she will show up in the Young Avengers.
Jerel, Simon, knowing what we know now, who is your favorite variant, and how in a big way would you like to see them come back? I'll start with you, Jerel.
I think he's frozen again.
He's frozen again.
My internet. There he goes. Okay, I'm back. I feel like I'm gonna be jumping through a portal right now because everything's so I'm a variant. I don't know if you guys want to know. I'm actually not Jerel. Jerel's
aren't we all by that logic?
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna have to agree with Tone. I love Sylvie. I thought she was great, and when I was talking to Sebastian during some pre-show stuff, we were just talking about Loki too, and we were, I think that what was really cool to hear about his take, and I totally agree with it, is that what was her crime? What was her variant crime? Why was she erased? And, why was she taken out of the timeline? And I think it was Sebastian, when we were talking about it, I think her crime, her transgression, was she was supposed to be a hero. She's like the anti-Loki. She's she did sort of you're talking about causing that chaos, but I guess maybe it's the good chaos. I'm not sure if that's the way you want to look at it.
No, I think we came up with that last week where we all agreed. We were like,
what if? I didn't hear it.
Well, yeah, you did. Well, I forgot. I think it was one of our guests. I think one of the guests came up with it, and they were like, "What if they were supposed to be a hero?" We're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
that's because they're beings of chaos. That's their crime is to go against the grain.
Right, and if you look at her just being female, that was that's that's the most obvious thing. But if you want to flip it again, it's not only that, but she does have that kind of the anti-hero a little bit tendency too. She has the Punisher attitude where I'm going to take down the Lord of Time here. But I have to say though that I like the hero thing. She was playing with the Valkyrie toy, and she was looking at it from a hero's perspective. So I don't know. I like to think that would be kind of a neat way to develop her character more. Not only is she female, but she's also actually has hero tendencies. So.
Well, I just challenged Joe for you. So the next Let It Out, Joe's going to have to draw that storyline, the storyline of the Gator Loki love story. So see what happens. Keep on difficult, and we have a lot of great comments going on.
Listen, really quick. You know what? You know what it could be is that Gator Loki, his transgression was biting Hook's hand off.
There you go. Yes. Who was your favorite
crossover?
Who was your favorite?
They're all owned by the mouse. Let's do it.
Les, who was your favorite variant, and how would you like to see them play again in the MCU that we're seeing now being developed?
So this is really hard for me because I mean, I'm definitely rooting for Sylvie because she's a female Loki, but I am a huge Richard Grant fan, and I love the classic Loki. I love the fact that he actually accomplished the one thing that he said, which is that everything that they do, it never comes out right. They always try to change themselves to be better. And he actually did that at the end. He became the hero at the end. So I kind of want to see him come back in some way, that he, you know, he's come back in a redemptive way. But Richard Grant, I've been a fan of his since Warlock. So if y'all know that movie, I'm a big horror fan. And I just think the guy's an amazing actor. And when I saw him playing classic Loki, I just was like, oh my gosh, he's definitely my favorite.
Yeah, see, Val's right there with you on that train. And bringing up Matt, the Loki scream that his hand got chopped off was epic. Yeah, no one talked about that scream all season because that was the funniest scream. But there's a reason I saved Simon for last, because before you guys came in, Simon was talking to me and Tung. We were getting to see. So Simon, I want to know, who was your favorite Loki this season?
I mean, I totally agree that classic and Sylvie, but you know, everybody's first pick, right? Alligator Loki. Like I love them. It reminded me of my fat ass cat. Like I it's like, what are you doing, man? It's like I was like, whoa. It's me talking to my cat. Like that's what it was.
Simon,
So I also brought some souvenirs from when I was a child. I collected all the Marvel cards, actually. What? So I brought out the classic. This is from 1991.
Yes.
You know, and then there's another one. He's in 3 cards I pulled out. So he's in Acts of Vengeance, and this is you know. And then the last one, he was on the cover of Avengers, right?
Oh.
Yeah, it was crazy, because I was like, I was wondering if he gave him the respect he deserved, like back in the first set. But sure enough, he's in a bunch of cards. He's one of the quote unquote supervillains. So that's when he was coined in the 90s. So.
I love the fact that he did, and I'm happy. I'm glad that you should look. You see, you got fans right there. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is. But this episode opened up a lot, because I do want to get into Jonathan Majors, but I want to wait for that. What I want to talk about is what we were seeing, and there have been a bunch of theories that have been bouncing around that the MCU as we know it was always in some form of time loop. And then we now started seeing, after Sylvie killed He above all, it starts to branch out. Do you guys think that theory is plausible, that the MCU that we have gotten to know was in a time loop? And also, to what variants or what properties do you think that Kevin Feige is going to now pull in to do all the alternate universes and the multiverse? And Les, we will start with you with this one.
Oh, I could kill you for starting with me. That's so difficult.
I'm about to exit the chat.
Yeah, really. Right? I gotta go to the bathroom.
I mean, you got the Fox X, man. You got. I mean, there's so many doors that have opened.
Oh my God, so many. You know what amazes me about them is they are so super intelligent. And they're fans, because they basically opened up the whole world to us right then and there for future and beyond. What is going to happen, who we're going to see, guest appearances that are going to be there from people that we love and know. It is so hard to pinpoint what will be next. I know that they have to finish out what we've already seen in the MCU universe, but it's from a fan's perspective, I'm so geeked and stoked about what's going to come of this. And some of it is not going to be the classic stuff that we think that we're going to see, the X-Men or anything like that. This is going to be something totally else. There's so many characters that we love that have not made an appearance traditionally in the MCU universe or any movies that we've seen in the past. So, gosh, I can't even imagine. I can't even think what what's going to come of this. The possibilities are endless.
Simon,
No, riding on that whole idea, I feel like this series opened it up, like, because it was I felt like they were kind of doing this almost like, I want to say, like the same characters, not the same characters, but the same characters with the last everything, just like kind of recycling them. I mean, WandaVision, of course, brought out some new people and stuff, but this Loki really opened up, like they can really, you're right, so they could throw in anybody now, and it would make sense with the whole timelines and everything like that. I really like where it's going, like just the direction of where everything is headed towards, which is really promising, because I'm glad I didn't watch it. It was like, oh, the same old shit again, It's more like, oh shit, what are they gonna do next? It really kind of, it gets you excited for what's coming next, so which is nice.
Paul,
I want to, because I want to spotlight this, because I want to give because yes, no one is dead. Recasting said can happen. So much is open now, and they showed this in the episode with the Loki variants, where you had boastful Loki. Looks nothing like like any other Loki that we've seen. So you have this idea that you can now recast other characters as other people to bring them in as variant versions, which again opens up that multiverse thing. I mean, we've seen DC do it, but now Marvel is going to do it in a way that, and then we have What If coming up soon. But Jerel, you're following up with that. I know you've been. I want to get your thoughts on this time loop theory and the whole multiverse now opening, and what variants and what properties we're going to see possibly pulled in.
I was wondering what kind of villain could top Thanos, right? And I always thought it would be cool, like when I heard the rumors about Kang being that guy, and then I heard Kang was going to be just the villain in Ant-Man, the next Ant-Man movie, and I go, I love Ant-Man, but I was like going, how can that be just him? Like Ultron, like Ultron's story was just in the Age of Ultron. He had like, lingering effects, of course, but I was like going, Kang would just be perfect. He could be that next big baddie. And what they've established with Loki is Kang could be the villain in every movie in this next phase. It could just be a different iteration of him. Because I was talking to Sebastian, we talked about in the comics how many different variations of Kang existed. We had Ramatut. I think there was one called the Red Centurion.
Centurion.
Yeah, there was, and that's what I was going to tell Sebastian, being the studied comic universe nerd that he is. He posted that right before this show, and I think that he could be there's just like what was said. There's so many possibilities now, because I think we talked earlier about when Kang was introduced. We're not really Kang. He who remains. I don't really think he's Immortus. He's not Immortus to me. He's just another variation. We haven't seen Immortus yet, and we haven't seen Kang, and even the statue that was that big thing at the end where they showed him he doesn't have the mask on yet, so we don't even know if he's benevolent or if he's the baddie. We don't know, and then of course he can be that. I mean, there's just so many possibilities. And then when we were talking about the Ramatut thing, I was like thinking, wow, wouldn't that be cool if he was, as he was leaping around through time as his different variations, he engaged Apocalypse, and we could talk about the first mutant. I mean, I was like thinking that could be it. Like, we could go back in time, and then of course the Scarlet Witch, how she could possibly be unlocking the X gene, which could be another mutant thing. I mean, there's just, my mind is swimming, in terms of like, how many different possibilities that are going to happen out of it. But I do like how the writing and Feige, just the way they...
No, girl. No. See, the timeline is messing with your connection. They're like, you got nuggets, and they're like, the timeline's coming in after you. TVA.
Somebody check his connection for the TVA.
Disney hates me. I think they come Go to the next question.
All right. I mean, before I get Tone and Law's response, Val, the fact that they got also the Fox properties back, anybody after Kang is going to have to be bigger, but it's like they have so much time. I mean, you have Onslaught, you have Apocalypse now in the MCU, you have Sinister now in the MCU. And
do we have a new version of Iron Fist?
They said that the rumors are that they're going to recast Iron Fist, but what is it? The guy who played Daredevil, John Brathenall, and the actress who played Jessica Jones have possibly been casted into the MCU. We'll see in the next few years, but we know that Charlie Cox has been cast.
Give me back Michael Coulter, please.
Yes, Michael Coulter.
For that, well, you're up next on that theory. What do you think?
To answer Val's question, it literally could be anyone, but it would need to be someone who, on a cosmic scale, would be able to like bring everyone together and make it feel more threatening. Like Thanos wiped out half the universe, but felt like a very localized threat, versus a Galactus where he is just devouring worlds on end.
And we still haven't seen Dr. Doom.
And we still haven't seen Dr. Doom.
We can just do God King Doom. That's it.
Right. You know. So any of those things could be a valid choice. As far as the multiverse, like time loop thing, I brought it up to these guys where someone was like, we've been seeing them hint at multiverse and the timeline and what have you since like Doctor Strange, where we saw it a little bit, I think, in the first Ant-Man movie. I'm interested to see where it goes now, because it's going to be like the sky is literally the limit. You can cast anyone, you can have anyone, you can bring in the X-Men and not even bat an eyelash. Like there's no like, oh, we brought them in. Yeah, they're just from this timeline or from this multiverse. Or you bring them in proper, like, oh, they're here now because that timeline happened to converge on top of each other. Whatever the case may be. So, I think they're gonna bring in the X-Men really soon. I would hope that they're bringing in like the X-Men, Fantastic Four, like we've been theorizing, and hopefully a better version of the Inhumans if they do like go down that rabbit hole, because I feel like that's a good family to bring in as well. That also has a little history with Namor, because we do know that we're getting Namor at some point. So let's see.
And Joe goes X-Men versus Avengers, which is again, it's a possibility. Start with all, start destroying all the heroes and going into the mutants, bringing them back. It's again, there is a lot of possibilities. The show's open. And I wanted to touch up too. We're getting back to Val's question. So yeah, we haven't seen Dr. Doom, we haven't seen Galactus, Magus, Annihilus. There are a list of villains that we have not seen. And now that they have the X-Men forward, Apocalypse, and there is a huge list of big bads that we may see. And again, even with that possible storyline, X-Men versus Avengers, which was a big storyline. I think me and you, Jerel, we talked about it too over the weekend, about how it's a possible good big storyline. But Tone, birthday boy, what are your thoughts?
My God, man.
I'm telling you, should have made it a drinking game.
I know, seriously. So when it comes to like the whole time loop thing, it's really, I think, again, a more of a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Because we know that the multiversal war happens in the 31st century because all the Kangs or all the dudes just end up, all the Nathaniel Reeds start finding each other. Right. So who's to say that this is the catalyst that starts the next multiversal war, or the original multiversal war that happened in the 31st century,
right? And
that even he who remains even says to Sylvie, "I'll be seeing you. We're gonna do this whole thing again just for me to stop it, and I'll be seeing you." And we know from comic book lore that the TVA was created by the last person to send them back in time and to fix everything. So I think what we'll probably be seeing is this multiversal war that Miss Minutes kept talking about. There'll probably be a different ending, obviously, because I think we still have our heroes, and the heroes haven't been brought up to speed. So it won't just be a bunch of Kangs fighting it out. We'll have our heroes, and we'll see how that goes. Because now I think free will is going to play away now, because we have all these branches, where before there wasn't a lot of you had your free will, but you didn't really have your free will because you're on a tape. Like you see your life goes from beginning to end, because time for everyone is linear except for all these fourth dimensional beings, right? So So I think I'm excited for what they're able to do, and we're branching out. I think it's a great way to connect to What If, because I know when What If first came out, we were wondering how they were going to do it. What did it mean? I know we knew that the multiverse that we heard in Spider-Man 2 was BS. So what was What If? Was it just a bunch of comic book stories that they animated, and then we just get a watcher and we get just a really good time? But now we realize that the way Loki ended, these What If stories are literally just timelines that are now there. Like they're existing timelines now that are canon in the MCU, and not just animated stories from, the books, or for us to just hear our favorite actors, play these characters again in a different way. Like it has some meaning to it. And I think, all these shows had to connect somehow. So I don't know. I'm at a loss of words. I think when we get to Multiverse of Madness and we got to see what Doctor Strange has to deal with is really going to make or break us, and I can't. There's too much.
There's too much. There's too much.
There's too much. I mean, we'll get to the, Immortus or He Who Remains portion a little bit later, but I'm just stoked to see Kang and all his greatness, and Jonathan Majors and what he's going to do with him, and Jerel, to your point, I do think it's Kang that we see in the TVA. I just think the reason why we don't get the iconic helmet or mask feels like the MCU has really been trying to pull away from having all these masks, all these characters in their masks. Like they show, Zemo had his mask on for one episode for all of 10 minutes, but we got it just to say we got it. But I think we probably will see Jonathan Majors' face as Kang. Maybe we'll get him in a battle with the mask, but it'll probably just be his face for the majority of the time. But I think it doesn't really matter. But I do think it's Kang, and we can talk about that a little bit later.
Well,
can we talk about that conversation with Renslayer and Mobius? And how dope that was.
Go ahead. Pick everybody. But first I want to touch up on this. Yes, so I know which one you're waiting for. You're waiting to see the Fantastic Four for Ghost Rider, Hulk, Wolverine, and Spider-Man, which I think would be pretty dope, which now we can get. But yes, Law, pick your order of who you want to talk about that.
Really quick, we have the conversation with Renslayer and Mobius. Mobius comes back guns blazing, is yo, you betrayed me, this is all bullshit, blah, 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 this and third. And she's still holding on to what she believes in. She's firm in her beliefs. Where do you think she went? What is she what is she trying to prove? And what do you think is going to happen next with her? And I will start with Simon.
Oh,
she's Kang banging.
This is beyond.
That's exactly what I was going to say. The chance encounter.
No, seriously, excuse me. I'm this is a little bit beyond my.
Gadro.
Yeah. Having a problem with the chat. There we go.
What is happening?
There we go.
Well, okay. Yeah.
Jerel, you're tagged in.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear. My internet went out. I thought Simon was still going. I was like, Simon, drop some truth on me, and I'm like, okay, what's up? So, what were we talking about? What were we talking about?
What Renslayer's storyline is going to be after this, and what that conversation between her and Mobius really meant for them.
Yeah, it's an open door, and actually, I don't know if you. I really didn't enjoy her character too much. To me, it was it wasn't the actress. It was just the way that she was written, it's like she played both sides. She couldn't commit to certain things, and it was just, I don't know exactly where her story's going to be. And I obviously I was more interested in Mobius, Loki, Sylvie, and everybody else. And it is interesting that when they went back to that time period where she was a teacher at a high school, and what got me was that when Mobius sort of said time it flows differently in the TVA, and it's interesting that they showed her not only as a teacher, they showed her as one of the agents, and then they showed her as a judge, and she looked the same age in all of them. And I'm wondering were these variants of variants? I have no idea. I don't exactly know. It was a little bit mind-boggling for me, but I guess to me it'd be a breakout to see if she plays a larger role in the whole thing. I want to see where He Who Remains, Immortus, Kang. I want to see where all that stuff goes. She just seems
what about our boy Mobius, man? I'm so excited. I was sad to see what happened, but like I was dope to see that he like stood up for himself with her.
Yeah, and what I kind of didn't like was he comes back to the TVA and we're like, oh great, it's him. And then they had that last sequence, and it's when and it's not the same Mobius that we know. It's the Mobius that's from an alternate and I'm like, oh Marvel, you're just totally like playing with my emotions. It's sort of like we were wondering how we were going to do with Loki. This is another Loki. It's not the Loki that we knew from 10 years, but they rectified that. So I'm wondering what they're going to do with that. It's almost like the whole multiverse thing. It can be it's a solution, but it also can be just I don't want it to be like what's the word, the Deus Ex Machina. It's like the solution to like, oh, we have a plot hole. Oh, we have something. Let's just make a multiverse, and it'll fix everything. I'm hoping it's not. I don't think Marvel's going to do that, but I just don't want lazy storytelling. I want everything to be just as cohesive and well gelled together, just like the first 10 years.
I'm gonna tell you how you could know that it's not going to happen. It's not the Snyder Cut. Anyway, who's next, Law?
Moving past
and Joe says you need to plug in your internet.
It's like a mirror. Things in your mirror maybe appear closer to you than they are. That's this DC bullshit. Let's move forward and talk about the MCU.
Les said she's out here gang banging. So I open the floor to the boys. Seabass and Toad.
I honestly felt, she's been, to me, I agree with Jerel. She was very grimy through this whole thing, and I did not like her because she was so grimy. I honestly felt there was some kind of romantic something between her and Mobius at some point. But I feel that the reason why she keeps appearing in all these time things is because she is Kang's love. And I think that this is what she's been looking for. She's looking for this connection, this relationship that's been missing or evading her rather, that's been alluding to it. And I think that this is one of the reasons why she has never aged. There's something going on that's on a personal level between her and Kang, and why she keeps showing up in these different types of timelines as herself. She's maybe not aware, or maybe she's lost him, or maybe they got into a fight and then he just put her, you never know, but they have to write that romance in there. They have to, because we all know that it exists.
Right.
Yeah, I think the minute they introduced her character, all of us who knew her character instantly, Kang, there's something dealing with her and all that.
Final thoughts on that?
Simon, did Simon go?
I didn't go, but I feel like it's like some type of alternate loop for her. Like she's the same age, and she's just going through different iterations of the reality of her. So I agree with both of you guys. It's pretty crazy, but I don't think we talked about like the Owen Wilson character that Owen Wilson plays in every movie that somehow got applied into this.
It worked perfect.
I didn't read up on it.
Simon, some actors are actors and some actors are personalities.
Yeah.
You figure out which one he is.
Yeah. I thought it was perfect though. It worked so well.
So it's Hansel in the TVA. It's all good.
Yeah. It was perfect.
I'm still waiting for Lightning McQueen to pop up with him as the very end. He's driving himself, going to chow. Someone made a meme about that, by the way. He's like, when he was driving the car, they photoshopped him driving a Lightning McQueen, and I was like, oh man, I was like, that would be so perfect. But
I thought he was gonna do derelict in the middle of it.
So we still on this question?
I mean,
that's up to you. That's up to you too. Or we could go to the next one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll answer it. I mean, I love the fact that, again, I want to touch up on Val's thing, free will. She kept talking about free will, but yeah, we know.
But maybe that is why she's talking about it, because maybe she didn't have that when she was in this romance, and this is what she's been searching for. Just like Val said, she don't need no man. She's a strong woman. Maybe that's what she's been escaping. Maybe the fact is that he has had too much control over her, and this is why she has placed herself in different timelines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the thing is that I want to touch up with the fact that she highlighted, oh, we lost Jerel. Okay, Jerel will come back when he gets on there. But no, when she talked about free will and they highlighted that, who's to say that she wasn't being controlled? And now she's like, I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to figure out what my free will. And it's like, again, like, yeah, it's like her character. I didn't feel sorry for her character. She just, she was a bureaucrat. She was a bureaucrat. That's what she was doing, especially when all the stuff was shown to her by Morbius and all that. And the proof, and even seeing that the timekeepers were robots, she still kept trying to push what the TVA was all about. And then when she left, I'm going to try to find free will.
For all of that to be wrong, and her just be like, this was all for nothing, I'm the bad guy? Come on. That's her whole world crumbling, and her trying to be like, nah, this got to be for more. Like this.
Yeah, and I mean, it wouldn't surprise me for them to write another iteration of her, and not going along the line of what we were saying, because you think about it, her romance with him is very two-dimensional in the comic, and maybe what we're going to see is a deeper, more thrashed out character.
Well, speaking of that, let's jump in. Don't you want to touch up on it, or?
It's fun.
Okay, so let's jump into the man of the hour. The man of the hour that we all been waiting to talk about. The one,
Jerel.
The only.
Jerel.
Yeah, that's where Jay was going to say Jerel. Plug with the connection.
Jerel or Jerel?
Either. It doesn't matter as long as I'm here with you guys. I feel like the TVA is coming after me. They're gonna timeline.
Remember, they don't knock. There's just a yellow door.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Wait, which iteration of Jerel is this? Is this Jerel?
Yeah, exactly. It's funny because the last thing that I remember hearing was Kang banging, and that's
I mean, that's all you have to say.
Yeah.
That's literally this whole thing. Oh man, he's going.
Oh man, see, they got him again.
Oh, there you go. He's back.
Alioth came and sucked him up. That's what happened.
Oh my god.
But let's talk about the man of the hour.
Let's do it, man. It's fucking 9:52. Let's do this, man.
Yeah, CJ. Let's talk about Jonathan Majors, because I think they picked the perfect actor to play who we've seen play, because Jonathan Majors is that actor that has so much versatility to his skill of how he acts with characters that he plays. We've seen him in Lovecraft Country. Again, I'm going to mess that up. Lovecraft Country, which did a phenomenal job there. And then to hear that he was cast as Kang, but then they never revealed in the casting of that he was going to be in Loki, which I was, and Tone was like, even last week, like, they're not going to show Jonathan Majors, and then all of a sudden he pops up. But it's the version he played of this character, which is not the final version, because again, as we've seen in the show, you can play multiple versions of a character. So this was like more of like a wonky Willy Wonka type character, especially with the fact that there were things that were said, like, the whole thing is like, if he said, if you think that I'm bad, wait till you see my variants. And then the other thing about, taking out a despot who is in a position and then leaving the void open. And that was something that you saw Loki. That's why he was like refusing to like, listen, we can't do it. We can't do it. I mean, I want to get your guys' thoughts on that, about Jonathan Majors' character, He Who Above All, about the fact that are his variants worse than him, or what are we going to get with this? And Simon, I will start with you, because Jerel's on TVA time.
I loved him as a character, but it threw me for a loop though, because he's supposed to be in the next Ant-Man movie, so I initially I like had to rewatch it because I was just for like the first 5 minutes, like he was talking, I was like, wait, what's going on here? Mm-hmm. But I feel like him as it was nice to see the depth he plays versus where he was in before, and it was just pleasant to see him in that character. I don't know. I just enjoyed it. I just enjoyed it. Yeah.
Jerel, before the TVA comes after you.
Yeah, before I get cut off again, I'm still thinking about Kang banging, and it's blowing my mind. But
that's what they're getting for. Every time you think about it, they're gonna pull you again.
I know. It's just like now I want to know about this character more. But anyway, yeah. What I thought that the way they introduced him, I think it was one of those weird ways where they could say, we didn't introduce you to Kang, but it's just a different variation of Kang, and I have to say that. The Willy Wonka thing, that's actually a really good description because his portrayal of He Who Remains was so different. It was not what I expected. I mean, he was so jubilant. It's almost like you almost feel like he's been alone, like for so long that he was waiting for somebody to beat. I don't know if you guys got this, but I was like, what the heck is with the lost smoke monster doing in the MCU? It's like did J.J. Abrams sort of say, you know what? I never really explained the smoke monster. We're going to put the smoke monster in Loki, and I was like, oh, there it is. It's there. And then I had this whole the nothing, the never-ending story, the nothing that was coming to devour. Yeah, that shows you.
That's definitely the nothing vibe.
Age now.
And it's eating your internet connection.
Oh man!
Oh no! The TVA is after Jerel today.
They hate me.
I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for the sparkles of white to go around his shimmering body.
With that being said, I'm not gonna talk. I'm gonna turn off my camera, hoping that the band.
Oh no!
What's funny are the poses. The poses.
Oh man!
Screenshot that, Joe, if you're still watching.
The impose.
I love her again.
Amazing.
It's all.
You're back.
So what we'll do, we'll tag in Leslie next, because I know Leslie's been waiting for Jonathan Majors to talk about him, talk about this character, talk about everything that he said. Because Leslie, I know you got tons of input, so please drop the knowledge on us right now.
What I do know about him from an actor's perspective is that he is very, he's extremely talented. He's just very, deep. And how he played this character was almost in a way tragic. And I think I really felt that pang of emotion when he said, I'm tired. He's been living all alone. There's no one like him except himself. And I think about it. If we sat and talked to ourselves all the time, y'all would be boring. So, because you know what you're going to say. So the thing is that I felt for this character, I really did not want to see his demise. I kind of wanted to keep this character around because I know that that's probably the only good version that we're going to get of King. I might be wrong. I mean, we might see another variant that's similar to this particular one, but I thought he played as maybe, because we have to have a good version of him. I think that what they're creating here is a very likable character that you don't want to, a whimsical, likable character that you don't want to see end. And this is why they played the emotion in this episode, especially in that part when he was given the discussion about how he was lonely and how he was tired and everything. So he played it, at first when he came and he was in the elevator and he was doing, I was like, okay, where is he taking this character? But I really loved the journey that I was on when I started hearing him explain the whole entire scenario. He did it so very well. And you think about it, if he had given that speech flat, if he had just given it very matter of fact, you all would have been asleep through that whole conversation. But the way that he delivered it was amazingly, it was pedestrian enough for us to understand it, but he made you want to listen to what he was saying. He made you feel. It takes a lot of gravitas from an actor to do and to pull off what this man did. And the few moments that you saw him at the end of this, and then to make that impression on all of us.
Apparently he had clown school training in his earlier career.
And maybe that is.
Joe didn't like the character, but he agrees with you with the actor that he could pull off so many levels, and I think that's what we're going to get with the character, with the actor. and it's just funny because there was something to, and again, I thank Law for sharing this because I'm always sending Law a bunch of fun TikToks. There was a TikTok shared from him for me with how this character, again, you didn't feel bad for him. You didn't feel sad. It's like you kind of felt sad because it's like you could see he was there for years and it messed with his mentals. But then there's that one scene where he noticed something change and like he's like, oh, wait, that's like something that wasn't supposed to happen.
When he did not foresee his death or how the outcome of his death was going to be, and you actually saw fear in his eyes.
There was also, too, is
it fear or is it excitement?
Wait,
it was fear.
I thought he was happy.
It was excitement.
I think it was both.
Yeah,
I think it was exciting.
The moment that he was like, oh, when she finally won, when Sylvie Prop finally won, I could actually see a little bit of fear cross his eyes. Like, yeah.
But this is the thing. That's just what I wanted to put was another fan theory. Again, this is why I love that we have this. So we all know that there is already a Nexus being in the MCU named Wanda. And we remember at the end of WandaVision, she was fighting Agatha Harkness, and Agatha dropped to the ground. Now, someone has a theory that moment in time and space is happening at the same time, and that was a moment that who Jonathan Majors was playing, it was a moment he couldn't foresee, and that's when things started to change. Because they were talking about Nexus Point, Nexus Beams, and when he did that whole thing with the drop, when he just dropped that bead onto the table, that was
when Agatha dropped.
When Agatha dropped.
Not only symbolism, it was more so that someone lined up those two episodes and they happened at the same time. Where you see Wanda, like that burst of energy come through, at the same time, Kang goes, oh, okay. And then you get him to do the ball drop when Agatha drops.
So I think that's when he saw that things started changing. And I think he was kind of happy because now he didn't see. Because remember when Loki and Sylvie were talking to him.
It can't be that fun to know everything.
Yeah,
it's not. It's not.
But it's to me that's just I don't know how deep they were thinking with this show. Tone Law, I want you guys to give your theories, give everything, and then we'll go.
I'll let the birthday boy go last because I know he's got some deep thoughts. Maybe I don't know. This is my guess because he's been Team Kang this whole season. But so I'd like to point out there was a point when they're in the elevator, and you see him look deadpan at the camera, and that was like I had to like watch it back because someone mentioned it, and it was like, oh shit, he's fully aware of us as the audience in that moment, of us knowing that like he can watch these events and we're watching these events happen at the same time, and he fully acknowledged us. You also get this feeling of when you're going to go meet him of like Wizard of Oz, like pull back the curtain and see the crazy man who's running the show. Then you actually get a crazy man running the show who feels very much like Willy Wonka, and especially with the Willy Wonka of the like, am I a little crazy, but do I make sense? Like, am I someone who's just tired and doesn't want to do this anymore? And I think he pulled it off really well. I think to Leslie's point, there was fear, but I think there was the excitement of not knowing. Yes, I'm scared to die, but there's also excitement in knowing this can go anywhere. And I've been someone who knows every waking minute for the last however many millennia that I've been here. That to finally not know something is like a surge of relief for him, you know? So I genuinely enjoyed this version because I'm not like as familiar with Kang, but from the little research that I have done and like his alternate forms, this was a good take where we're gonna get. He's setting up. Yo, you think I'm bad? Like I'm the bad guy? Nah, my variants are way worse. I'm the nice one. Like, and that speaks volumes to where he's willing to like what he's done is so bad that can only give you so much like to the leave so much to the imagination of like how much more messed up his variants could be. And when they come, because we know they're coming, he said it, how much worse is it going to be for everyone and anything on that timeline? This essentially could be a bad that keeps coming throughout the next phase and the next phase and the next phase and the next phase. Especially when we see Young Avengers, if we get an Iron Lad, which might be cool, if we get the Fantastic Four of the future, and like they start, because he's a great whatever son of Reed Richards, that would be cool. So I'm really interested to see like where Kang goes, but I loved this version of him, because I think that whole scene, the back and forth, the camera movement between him to the Lokis, to him to the Lokis, oh, cinematic gold. I was a film guy just going, oh, yes, give me more. This is shot so well. But Tone, take it away.
I do want to make a statement too. Did anybody witness the wink before Sylvie stabbed him? That he winked at her.
Yeah, he wanted it. It's one of those things that even when you're rewatching it, you're starting to notice a lot of subtle other things with the character, what he did. And I mean, I wanted to touch up on Joseph too. His reference to the comic strip, which he did. The fourth wall was touched, but I don't know if he broke it. I don't think he did break it, but he touched it. But he touched it in a way, like how Law said, it's like he still was letting you know that, oh, I know you're watching me. Like, he doesn't break it like Deadpool.
Right. He did it in a sense where there's a comic where Deadpool describes the fourth wall to Spider-Man. And Spider-Man just goes and addresses the fourth wall. He has no idea who the audience is, but he just goes, "Hey guys, thanks for watching." That's what he did. It was that level of, I don't know if it's real or not, but it's whatever's there. I'm just going to acknowledge whatever might be there.
And I like again that you pointed out, Leslie, when he winked at Sylvie, it was like, yeah, I want this to happen. It's like, again, he wasn't stopping it. And like he said, it's like, if you think I'm bad, wait till you meet my variants. And it's like, again, he, at that moment, when he couldn't tell what was going on, and like he was dropping like kind of like surprise, I think that was a moment of clarity and him being happy. That's why he winked. It was like kind of his way of saying thank you, because he was there for years and all that. And no, Joe, I don't think he took second level. I don't think he took a sideline in the show. I think we got a lot of development in Loki, and the fact that this is that last episode showed so much, especially at the very end, the version of Loki that we got. He wasn't even in the original TVA he was in. He was in a variant TVA, and Tom Hiddleston said it himself. He would love to play this character for the life of him. And
this has been my favorite iteration of Loki.
Yeah, they did some. And the fact that he's getting season 2, we're going to see more develop. I'm just excited to see how far they take the character. But Tone, please, I know you've been waiting to talk about Jonathan Majors. Come on, we're all waiting for you.
No, man,
birthday boy.
I don't know, man. You guys are dropping all these bars and all these knowledge. I don't know what I can do. But
I call bullshit.
No, man, I gotta say what I'm excited about seeing Kang and Ramatad and Mortis, He Who Remains, is the differences that the actor can do. Right, like, because Jonathan Majors has to go in and play multiple versions of the same dude, but we got to be able to tell the difference. And that's what I'm most hyped for, because I like that he played Immortus, He Who Remains, as we said, the Willy Wonka, the Wizard of Oz, the crazy guy, just because he's been going through this. So now he's in a shift to the tactical, strategic mind of Kang the Conqueror, who will be like probably, I'm hoping, like stupid scary in Ant-Man and Quantumania, and just like not like thinking that, because to him time is his realm, and when you fuck with time, you're fucking with his realm. And now he's going to come and bash your door in, orange doorway his way into your house and take care of business, which is what I'm very much excited for, and seeing how Jonathan Majors kind of does that. What I also loved about it too is just that, like, Kang the Conqueror, Immortus gave them this option of kill me and just kill me and you get your revenge, or take over. And I just sit back, and he lets the Lokis Sylvie and Loki kind of have at it, their way of having their own kingdom or having their own freedom or whatever. I thought they were going to be more reminiscent of Then and Now from the comics. I think that's what I first thought when we were watching it, and then they kind of changed it to kind of give them their own perspectives. But I was just taken aback by how they played it, and the fact that he played this whole idea of surprise and okay with it all. He didn't. To me, it felt he didn't care. He's like, you can pick whatever option you want, and like he says to Sylvie, I'm just gonna come back, and I'm gonna come back into this chair. Because I'm trying to stop the war that happened where I'm from, but you're just going to start the war again. It's all going to happen again because everything is this whole predeterminism thing that we've got going in this show, and that we're going to have the same sort of character come back from around, get rid of all his variants, and sit back in that chair, and we're just going to wipe the slate clean and start over again. So I don't know if it was more so fear, but more so just I'm just going to let it happen. And just gonna see, and I gave you this option, but I'm excited for what I'm excited for what we're gonna see with all these characters. I don't know if we're gonna see like all the versions of Kang. I just don't think that's gonna work in the movie. I think Ramatut may make sense, maybe like a drop here and there if we do X-Men, or if I don't know if Eternals are gonna do it because they go back in time. Like we may see him there. We'll get him as God. Jesus. Oh my gosh, dude. All right, I lost it. It's fine. We'll see how it goes.
Love you, Bear.
Love you, Bear.
All right, yeah, that's it.
So I wanna get everyone to talk about what you guys are doing and everything, because we're coming in an hour on the show. But I do want to ask this, though, because I don't want to do this episode without asking it. How many of y'all got terrified of Miss Minutes in this episode?
At
she just popped up.
When she just popped out like a Resident Evil game? Yeah.
Yo.
Yes.
No. I was thinking like she's gonna be like, I was like, yo, is she her own sentient, works on her own accord, like she can operate outside of Kang? I was like, if that's the case, if she can just like, oh, Kang gives me orders, but I don't have to listen, she would be a whole ass problem.
Not only that, she reminds me of some of them Southern women I grew up with that be talking all nice in front of you, say you bless your heart, and then doing stuff in the back.
Yes.
She's dirty. Then she lies with a smile on her face. Yes.
No, but what I really liked about Miss Minutes too, and I think I mentioned this in like episode 1, is that she's the most digital thing in the TVA. Mm-hmm. Like I think it was like episode 2 or 3 when Loki was she was like hopping around and shit, and you're like, wait, what's going on? Because like the level of technology that Miss Minutes is versus the level of technology aside from the time jumping that the TVA has is very analog, and so it just didn't make sense that you had her on one hand and you had all the other stuff that the TVA was working with.
Maybe that's her representation, because she's definitely sentient.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because remember, she said. When Loki asked, like, "Are you alive?" It's like, maybe I am, maybe I'm not. So, but that was so fucking creepy when she popped up like that. I was like, oh, she's no. But we're at that hour of the show because I want you guys to shout out what you guys
so
are
much
doing,
to talk about,
because there's so much to still talk about. But you guys are all doing some awesome things that fans don't know about, that people don't know about. So I want to give this moment now for you guys to talk about your businesses, your shows, what you guys are doing with the community. Simon, you are new on the show, so I want to give the spotlight to you first.
Oh, thank you. Well, my wife and I own Macaron Parlor, as you can see on the screen. It's a macaron shop. You can buy stuff online. We do custom orders and stuff as well if you like. Christina also runs Meow Parlor. It's New York's first cat cafe. They'll be back open, I think, around September. Right now, we're doing adoptions online and stuff like that. So if you want to sign up to foster, if you're in the New York City area, go ahead and sign up and foster at meowparlor.com. And also, we probably have an event coming up soon at Cat Camp. It'll be both virtual and in person, and there'll be an announcement about that pretty soon coming up in the next few weeks, I believe. So, yeah, we got whole bunch of stuff going on. And Sylvia, I got to talk to you. We got to talk. We got a lot of cat convo to talk about. So,
Gerald, before that,
that's okay. Hey, I wish.
Joe, you're up.
You know, I'm gonna have to go watch this episode when I got a better internet connection so I can see everything that I missed. I feel like I'm in the audience instead of
You're
being
grounded.
Yeah,
tell us what you're doing, brother.
Yeah. So before we get into like my comics cast spiel, I just want to leave you guys with a thought. Maybe Miss Minutes is the AI version of Ravonna. You know?
Ooh.
No, there we go. There's a thought. And my second thought, to follow up on Kang banging, I'm gonna say,
wow, we're really doing this though.
I'm gonna do this. Let's think about the whole Loki and Sylvie thing. The Loki Doki. I don't know. We'll have to see if that. I don't know, but now that's the raw, uncensored Jerel. I don't get to really do that on Comics Cast. But that being said, Comics Cast. Yeah, we're all about the indie creator, and it was my pleasure to have Sebastian on the show. In Comics Cast, you can find us on Facebook as Comics Cast. You can find us as Indie Comics Cast on YouTube. We're all about, like I said, promoting the independent creator. We do our shows on Sunday, 1 p.m. Gonna have lots of cool guests, and we're moving into speaking of phases, we're moving into our next phase of Comics Cast, and Joe alluded to it. We're still working on it, but it's going to involve big things, and we're going to talk about that a little later on. So anyway, happy to be on the show.
Happy to have
you. I'm just say, Gerald, you want to go pick on Joe? He's in the comments. He's picking on you right now. I'll let you go handle your business with him.
All right.
Les,
you can.
Because we know you are building an empire with you and your crew. Please share everything.
I have a production company called Cliff Dot Productions, and we host several shows throughout the week. So on Wednesdays at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do a show called the Jay Winter Nightwolf Live Show, which deals with Indigenous people's issues and things that are happening in the Native American community. That's on YouTube and Facebook. Also on Thursday nights, I have a show that I co-host called The Tingling Tea, where we deal with horror, sci-fi, the supernatural, all those rare and creepy stuff. You can catch us on YouTube, Twitch, and oh my gosh, what do you call it? Well, you can catch us on all the social media on 8:00 Eastern Standard Time. YouTube, TikTok. Yes, YouTube, TikTok. Yeah, we're new to TikTok, and we are also streaming on Twitch. So yes, that is 8:00 Eastern Standard Time on Thursday nights, and then on Saturday at 1:00, I'm with the Bit and Apple TV co-hosting at 1:00 Eastern Standard Time. We are taking a hiatus in August. We need a break, but I do want to tell you all to go watch Dr. Death on Peacock. I have a role on Dr. Death. It's the first time I'm cursing on television. So it's a big thing for me. It's not a bad curse. By New York terms, it's not really. But I could just say that, I get to curse on TV for the first time. Nice. So yes, I'll be episode 6 of Dr. Death is streaming on Peacock, and it is such a creepy show, you all. It really is.
Ooh, congrats, Les.
True crime. Thank you.
I enjoyed it. Again, guys, I want to thank you guys for coming on Nerds, talking again about the final episode of Loki, throwing out some of the fan theories, watching Jerel's connection go down. Guys, you heard them all here. Go over their stuff, follow their links, follow them, check out everything that they're doing. They're all great leaders in their communities. There are pillars there. And I've had the honor of meeting all these people. We've had the honor of meeting them, having sidebar conversations and everything. And they are, just as you saw here, they are also awesome in person as well. So please check them out and give them all the support. But this has been another awesome episode of Nerds Around, guys. I'm your host, Sebastian.
It's your boy, Law.
Anybody, Tone from across the hall.
The birthday boy.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.